it's my face again. Hey, let's do another quick unscripted review for Psychout for Murder. This is from 1969. This was directed by Rossano Brazzi and stars Adrienne Larussa, I believe is how you say that. I watched this movie twice, actually, back to back, just to make sure, because the first time there was a little bit of distractions. But in short, I would say this is a good giallo. It's, again, because it's 60s, it's one of those like, how giallo is this? And there is, I mean, I'm not going to go into full spoilers, but I will say that it's not a murder mystery. It's more of just like a revenge movie. I'm trying to think what is most similar to it, and I can't really think of another giallo that is similar to it. So it is about Licia, who is this young woman. She is the youngest daughter of this powerful man. I believe he's a politician of some sort. And in her family, like, the mom's out of the picture, but it's her older sister who is married to this playboy, as they all describe him, who's played by Alberto de Mendoza, which is cool. And then the father has a mistress, and then he's friends with people within his political circle that helped got him to where he is. So there's like a clergy member, and that's really it. And then Licia has this boyfriend Mario, and so the movie starts. The version I watched is on YouTube, and it opens with a disclaimer by, I think, whoever uploaded it, like, hey, most of the footage is from a DVD, which the quality is fine, but then other shots, like extended moments of scenes, so there might be like the last like 2 seconds of a scene, or just like a mini scene, are from a VHS tape that were cut for the DVD. The DVD is apparently like a couple minutes shorter, stripped down version. The movie opens with a clip from the VHS where the girl is in this mental hospital, and she sees these like women standing at the edge of her bed, and then it kind of jumps back to show how she got here. And she describes her family, she describes the situation there, and what it ended up happening was her boyfriend Mario was like, hey, let's rent out this brothel, and let's get down to some business. And little did she know that he had actually arranged for the press, for like photographers to be hiding out. And so when they got there and they didn't even really get down to business, but the fact that they were there, the photographers intercepted them. And it's kind of funny. She's running out of the building. She runs out, and there's all these photographers, and it's her and Mario, and she's just like, and he just like pulls her in, and he's like, so he uses this to blackmail her father, because it's all about money, right? So he wants money, and the father, agreeing with advice from the clergy member and approval from the other sister, decide, I think, and the mistress, what will be best if we just send Licia to a mental hospital, and we can just tell everybody, like, it's okay. Our family doesn't have bad morals. We're not terrible parents. We're not inept. It's just that she kind of went a little crazy, and we're taking care of it. We're getting ahead of it. Don't worry, she'll be fine. And so they sent her to a mental hospital, and she's explaining her case to the doctor there. And this is a lot of the stuff that was cut, which is interesting because on one hand, it does tell us more about how she got there and everything. It's maybe like 40 seconds of exposition, but it also, I guess, doesn't really help the case that the movie is setting out to do, whatever. But she gets out. Mind you, this is something that comes up later. She was only in there for 2 months. Now, granted, she shouldn't have been in there in the first place, but she was only there for 2 months. And Licia is kind of, she's very pissed, but she's hiding it. But she's acting like she was in there for a very long time. Like, she was in there for 2 years or something. But, again, point is, she shouldn't have been sent there away in the first place. They should have just owned up, or they should have at least gotten behind her. And the movie is then following her. It's kind of like Kill Bill in this weird way. That's really not a good comparison, but she's now going to get revenge on all of those who, conspired to put her behind or who caused this. And one thing I thought was really funny was she'll do things. So, like, the first day she comes back, she meets everybody. She meets her dad. It's her dad. I think Francesco is the playboy who's the husband of her sister, who's Giovanna or Giovanna. And she goes in. She's just like, "Oh, father, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh, you look so much older." And again, it's only been like 2 months, but she gives him a hug, and everyone's just kind of like wondering how she's gonna be. Is she gonna be? Is she going to be resentful? Is she going to be giving us attitude? Is she going to guilt us? But she's just acting like nothing's wrong. And then she goes over to Francesco, knowing he's a playboy, and she just, like, kisses him on the mouth, full on. And remember, this is Italy, so there's a certain degree of how much of this is normal, but you could tell that her plan for him, at least, is, I'm going to seduce him. And so, starting in this scene, and this is like 15 minutes in maybe, through to the end, she's just seducing the hell out of this guy, and she's trying to make her sister jealous, but she's playing it off as if this is normal. And this was also funny. In this same moment, she's telling them all, like, "Oh my gosh, like, Francesco, you would have loved the mental hospital I was at. It was full of whores." And the sister and the dad are just like, what the fuck is she? But so this is what I mean to say, like, something that I thought that was kind of silly, kind of dumb, is she's going to, like, they're all seated, and she's going to, like, bring dinner to the table, and she takes this like a skewer fork thing and kind of stabs an outlet, and the lights go out, and they all are kind of like freaking out, and they're like, Licia, and she's like, "Oh, help me, oh, help." And they're like, "That's Licia, she's in her room." And they all run, and she's not in there. And then they come out, and there's all these toys set up, and the toys are all like, electronic, so they're all, so they're all moving. And they're like, "What's going on?" And then they go through, and she's sitting the lights come back on. She's sitting at the table eating. She's like, "What are you guys doing? There's plenty of time to play. Come eat with me. What are you doing?" And so she's trying to, it's like this weird attempt that, like, there's some weird things going on around here, which any normal person, even a stupid person, would probably know. Okay, she is mad. She's doing all this stuff to kind of convey this, and it's just funny because it felt like in the movie's logic, it's like, okay, and then she's gonna do this. She's gonna make them think that they're going crazy, but that's all part of her plan. It's like, nobody would think they're going crazy. Nobody would think that something spooky just happened. Anybody would realize, like, okay, well, she's doing this. And then later, she's in the car with her dad, and they're driving, like, up to the villa, and for some reason he stops the car, gets out. Oh, the gate is locked, and he goes to the gate, and Licia, like, undoes the brake, and the car starts rolling towards him. She's like, "Oh, father, oh no!" And he, like, turns and it's like, "Oh!" And then she engages the brake again, and she runs out, and she runs to him, and she acts like nothing is wrong, like, oh, or at least, like, she didn't do anything, like, "Oh my god, something weird is happening around here." Again, it's obvious that she disengaged the brake and then re-engaged it, but sure, movie, have us not know, have us think that the characters really have no idea what's going on. But that's essentially the through line of the movie is she's doing things like this, and then she reunites with Mario, and has him thinking that she's not upset. She understands why he did what he did. But she really, again, she's going to be getting revenge on everybody. Like I said, she's seducing Francesco, trying to make her sister go mad with what's going on with her husband. And she's going to get revenge on, well, I don't want to say everybody, but I mean basically all the characters. Like, if you look at the cast at the end of the movie, it's really only like 6 names. They're really good about not throwing in any of these extra people. But what I'll say about the movie is it's both very... It's not too over-the-top artsy. It's... who was the director? What was his name? Brazzi? Rossano Brazzi. It's competently directed. It's not like one of these directors who just kind of sticks the camera in one spot and just moves it around. Like, the camera does go places, and there are interesting things that are done, but it's way more reined in versus some other giallo directors that are doing a little bit more with the camera movement, the lens. But this is all to say that it's not really even that stylistic, but it's competent in terms of being directed. It's good. There's a great shot at the very end, which to me, I'm like, okay, see, like, the director knows what he's doing. He's just not very ambitious with what he's doing. He's not super creative with all these choices with the camera. And then the music, there's some good tracks in terms of like score, and then there's the theme that plays at the beginning and then at the credits is kind of terrible. It's rather amazing how bad it is. The writing on the movie is, I mean, it's fine. The idea of the movie is a little bit better than the execution. It's about an hour and 20 something minutes, maybe hour 30 something, but it's fairly short. It doesn't overstay its welcome. There are some interesting things, but in terms of the writing, like I said, there's a lot of dumb stuff that happens that is part of her plan. For example, one of the best scenes in the movie is this trap that she sets up, kind of like The Girl Who Knew Too Much, this elaborate trap, but she sets something up. It's like, I kind of have to say, I don't have to go too much, but I kind of have to say what happens. She drugs somebody, has them like unconscious in bed, and then she stole her father's pistol, and she sets it up across the room to aim at this person, and then she has like a tripwire essentially that she sets up going to the door leading into the room, and somebody comes into the room and it pulls a trigger on the gun and shoots this person. And first off, if you're the person who comes in and you hear the gunshot and you see that there's a string going over to a gun and a dead body, immediately you would probably think, again, this has got to be Licia, who's clearly not well, and that this is a frame job. This is a setup to make you potentially look guilty. Obviously, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to touch the weapon. If anything, I should call the police and let them see the situation for themselves. But here's the one thing where the writing does kind of come in terms of like, okay, this family doesn't want any of their affairs to get out, so they're going to do what they can to hide anything. And I just thought this was funny because the person then goes to the gun and like takes a lighter and kind of melts some of like the wiring or whatever it was used to tie it up, and they take the gun and they're like holding it and looking at it. I'm like, you just put your fingerprints on that. Like, come on, man, use your brain. The other thing that is going on in this movie is that you find out rather quickly when she meets Mario that he's not finished. He wants to blackmail everybody. He wants to take down this whole family and get more money. So he set his sights on Giovanna and Francesco, but also and the clergyman, but also. Or let me hold off real quick. So when Lucia comes to Mario and expresses that she wants to get revenge, he's like thinking, oh, okay, so no hard feelings. So you're down to like work together. Like we can take your family down. Idiot. It's like, why would you think that you're not going to be like used, manipulated, and eventually again, it must be that he thinks, oh, you're just a little girl, a little woman, like you can't think these things through, you need a man's help. I don't know. I mean, the movie doesn't really act that chauvinistic, but that's the only way I can assume that this character is dumb enough to actually team up with the woman that he blackmailed, or that he did this to. Whatever. And then another element of the movie that was interesting was that Giovanna and Francesco are also trying to get everything from Giovanna's father. And I don't recall if it was like they are trying to, smear his name, or they're trying to, but long story short, they are hoping to just inherit everything. And I think she is first in line to inherit everything. She is the older sister, but they clearly don't want to wait, so they're going to do things their way. But interesting setup. Another thing that stood out to me was the acting. It ranges from really good, not like too good, but pretty good. Like Alberto de Mendoza is always great, and then Adrienne Larussa. Forgive me if I'm saying that name wrong, but the main girl, Licia. Was I saying Lucia this whole time? Licia. I'm so sorry. It's Licia. Because I remembered as I was watching it, I thought they were saying Nietzsche. And I'm like, Nietzsche? But Licia. She's good too. She has her moments where she's really good. She's really good at playing this like conniving, like schemer. And then there's terrible performances. Mario, who is Nino Castelnuovo. I don't recognize the name. Oh, he was terrible. And he even has like a evil laugh at one point. He gets off the phone with the father, like somewhere towards like in like the middle of the movie, when it's revealed that like, oh, the blackmail is going to continue, and he just gets off the phone. He's like, and it's just, bro, come on, like, this is really bad. But all in all, I would say this is not a necessary giallo to watch. It's more for completionists, really. There is some interesting stuff. I mean, the whole thing of like girl getting revenge is cool, but the movie doesn't handle it in such a way where, like I said, Kill Bill, it's not like, yeah, girl. There's, like I said, some stuff just kind of happens because the plot makes it happen, but logically it's kind of like, but yeah. But I mean, you can check it out for free. It's on YouTube, at least as of right now, and you'll get all the scenes. One thing I do want to point out, though, is Licia, the voice actor who did the English dub for her, sounded like Bob from House by the Cemetery. So that was kind of annoying. If you've seen House by the Cemetery, you know that little boy has just got the most like nails on a chalkboard voice. But and it's not like it sounded exactly like him, but it might be the same person who does the voice. I don't know, but there were just times where, like, when she she takes the lights out and she's in her room and she's like, "Oh, help!
Help! No, I don't want to. Help! Anne, Mommy says you're not dead. Is that true?
Bob?" One other thing, there was another dumb part in the movie, and unless I'm just mistaken on how European electronics work, there's a part where they're hanging out by the pool, and Licia, like she sees the people hanging out in the pool who she doesn't like, and there's like a barbecue, and it's like an electric barbecue, I guess, and she pulls the plug out from it, and she starts like pulling it closer to her, and she takes it, it's like a cord with a prong, and at one point she touches it in the pool and it electrocutes everybody. It doesn't kill them, but electrocutes them. And it took me the second time watching the movie to be like, wait a minute, she electrocuted the pool using the cord? I haven't seen that before. So, like I said, maybe that was an extension cord of some kind, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, so that was Psychout for Murder. I don't think I have anything else to remark about the movie. It was, like I said, it was fine. There's some interesting moments. Ultimately, it's the pacing is fine. It's just not super well written. But like I said, there's enough for some people to get through it. The standout scene was the elaborate trap for no reason that I guess is all part of her plan. But anyways, that's all I've got to say. So if you want to check it out, it should still be available. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to really find it on DVD, I don't think. And would I say this is a movie that Vinegar Syndrome should try and get as part of their Forgotten Gialli? I mean, it certainly is a Forgotten Gialli, Forgotten Giallo, but I don't know. It doesn't really have a lot of staying power in terms of like some of the last ones I watched, like A Rather Complicated Girl by Damiano Damiani. It's like there's a little bit more artistry behind that. There's a little bit more of a chutzpah in terms of, oh, this movie is about something, it's saying something. It's the director really actually has a little bit more power behind his name. But so this movie may kind of continue to be a little obscure. I don't know if it will get a remastering or re-release. Maybe it will, because there are fans who will want to see it. But I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it's for everybody, is what I'll say. And that's all I got. So thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far. This is Tanner Leeser for TheKingInGiallo. And if nothing else, I'll see you next time.
Ha ha ha!